We can never have enough opportunities for engagement. You know, innovation is still very much about face-to-face contact and people talking and having conversations. So if we don't get together at events like this, you know, we won't spark the ideas and we won't see what the other person's perspective is on things.
There's huge opportunity for Ireland in the smart agriculture area, as we call it.
Today shows there is a captive audience, though there is people that are interested. The question too is about analysing and have we the right people in the room. I think it was the third panel, the one on the funding models. I thought the four speakers were excellent. I thought they went across the range, of spectrum of funding options that exist and how as a business that you can interact and engage with them.
Well, actually it was very beneficial for both counts. From the suckler farmer point of view, it was very interesting listening to Brian, and he also had a similar type of suckler farm, to see what he was doing on his farm and the technologies he was using.
I think Herdwatch was the first one that I invested in. It was probably one of the first to start using it. So it's no longer a scenario of how long is she calved. He goes into Herdwatch and he can find out how long she's calved.
And from the WIT perspective, it was very handy to make contact and find out people so that we could get speakers down to speak to our classes in September. And having spoken personally with them and found out how passionate they are about their products and how beneficial the products would be for farming and industry in general, farming and food industry.
I think just listen to Ethan Cleary from the IFA. I think it was enlightening to see just how far the IFA are pushing on the technology side into what's a very old organisation.
We're trying to grow a crop of spring barley without a human ever touching or placing a foot inside a field.
So it was great to see that, yeah, that they're really moving with the times and if you like, rolling out technology as well.
The golden nugget from today for me probably was the bioeconomy workshop. You know, it was very apparent there's a lot of potential in that space, and you know, that was, I thought, very well illustrated. I also enjoyed the farming panel discussion. I thought that was really good, and you know, I guess plain speaking, kind of in very clear language, I think was well done.
I think every speaker had their own message. I enjoyed you know, the message about the part-time farmer and the technologies he adopted and how he was actually benefiting his own farm and from a time perspective. And personally, I was very adept at that because I'm farming with myself at home, and I found it very interesting to hear, and also married with young kids, and it's kind of time is a big issue and how much time you spend on the farm. So my wife would be calling me saying, why aren't you spending more time at home? So I say I'm taking these technologies on board and saying, look, maybe these are opportunities for me to spend more time at home and less on the farm. So maybe that was the nugget I took from it.
The ability for AgTech to provide a kind of a traceable food path and the willingness of a consumer to pay for that. So it's adding value to both the food and to the machines that are involved in processing the food. So it's bringing agriculture on to the next level. And that's probably the big nugget that I got from today's event.
For me, it's quite interesting because I suppose the Department of Agriculture maybe comes with some big ticket messages that we have to address. So we were asked to address at climate change level, we're asked to address in terms of health and nutrition of food and for the environment and for the agri-food sector in general. And then we listen to the real people on the ground who are doing farming on a day-to-day basis, and they're all trying to meet the bottom line. And I think what we get is there needs to be a meeting of minds. Where can we get into a space where we all get onto the one page and we all work to move in the right direction? And if we don't have these events, we can't do that. So it's increasingly needful that we all get together and we talk, but now we need to really bring it into action. So the events that can bring anything into action is really useful from our point of view.